So I think it's important to first share that education has always been very important to me. For most of my life, up until about halfway through my time at ISU, I was pretty much convinced that I was going to become a teacher. So I always am deeply cared about the education, the upbringing of the next generation, and that's always been something very important to me. In terms of why am I running this specific race, it really came down to basically, to give you full context, my wife is a teacher for Unit 5, and so I'm always kept abreast on what is going on with the school district, and I care very deeply. And so basically, when the referendum was a discussion, it was not even put on the ballot yet. This was, about a year and a half ago. And the budget deficit specifically was an issue. I was very interested in going to informational sessions and listening on the school board meetings because I was concerned, quite honestly, to make it personal, that my wife might lose her job, even though she's tenured. She teaches at junior high, and the team model is in jeopardy. And it's the whole reason why she teaches. So having that personal reason is important. I canvassed for Vote Yes for the campaign back in October. I was very proud to do so. Spoke with a lot of voters who were very supportive. Was very shocked and dismayed that it didn't pass, but I was encouraged that it almost passed. So I wasn't devastated, but I mean, it was really the main question. It was the main really aspect to come out of November's elections, midterm, federal, everything that statewide that I was concerned about. It was the number one because I knew that, some of the other elections were given, Pritzker would probably win, yada, yada, but I was really worried about the referendum passing. And from my canvassing experience, I was very shocked. I really thought it was going to pass. I had not spoken with actually a single voter who actively said they would vote no. So I was pretty dismayed, pretty disheartened. I didn't have sleepless nights, but I was very, very worried because as a community planner, I know what happens when you disinvest and you don't invest in key social institutions like schools and what happens to a community. Great case study is what happened to Decatur. And I love Decatur. I think I have some family down there, but at the end of the day, they have a lot of economic and policing issues, police crime-related issues. And that comes from a lack of investment. So not bashing Decatur, just knowing very well what happens in the disinvestment trends there, I think is a good case study to keep in mind. So why I decided to run was also because of Vote Yes. Got very involved with, hearing from teachers, met a lot of teachers, heard, how they haven't been able to teach effectively, and it's affected their ability to, teach effectively and for the students to learn effectively because whenever we're talking about deep program cuts, and it barely scratching the surface, it's hard for anybody to work. And so it's really affected, my mental health and really upset me when it didn't pass, especially how as a country we always say how we value education, but for whatever reason we have to put a price tag on it when it comes to necessities. I know what my wife makes. She's barely making $39,000 a year, and she's taught for almost 6 years. And that's because the school district doesn't have the money to actually give her a substantial raise. So it's very personal to me. Someone who almost became a teacher and is the spouse of a teacher wants to see our school district grow. My wife and I will be starting a family, very open about that in the next year, and obviously our kids will go to Unit 5. We're not. We can write a contract in blood that I'm not leaving Bloomington Normal until we retire, and my wife is on the same page because we have family here. We have a lot of ties to the community, and we really want to settle here. So knowing that my kids would go to Unit 5 has me really thinking long-term and making sure our school district is set up for success. And my hope is that I can offer direct representation and really just removing barriers. I'm a very direct person, so I really wanted to see more school board members to really represent what's best for our students and to work collaboratively with teachers and the community, because it takes a full circle there to understand who contributes. So that's a little bit on why I decided to run.
Okay, got it.